Welcome, everybody. I am so excited today to have Priscilla, Hansen, Mahoney to talk about how can I use Trello to simplify my life. I'm going to let Priscilla introduce you, but I'll just quickly tell you she has helped me so much when I transitioned from all in person to all online. She helped me create a business plan and the customer journey, and it's been invaluable to me. So welcome, Priscilla.
Cool.
So
Now
I'm
I
going to
know
let you introduce
show
yourself.
you also today. I'm like, oh yeah, I've got templates for that now, and that's new since we talked. So,
Oh, good.
yeah. So Priscilla Hansen Mahoney, Blazing Trails Coaching. I'm a business coach. I work with service-based businesses to help them grow, profit, succeed by having better plans, better people, and better strategies. So essentially,
Awesome.
that's what I do. I met Joanne on Periscope. I don't know,
5 years ago, almost
5 years
5 years,
ago.
almost. Yeah, yeah.
And then she
It was
dragged
it
me
was
over to
2015.
Snapchat, and
Hmm.
so we've
Crazy.
been hanging out.
Yeah, it's been great. So we're here to talk about Trello. Do you want me to just share your board now, or you want
Yeah,
to just
go
get
for it.
started right in? All right. So
So I was telling Joanne when we were chatting before the broadcast started, I'm like, okay, I don't have any dummy boards set up. You're going to see my life. It's like showing you my diary. So there's some things I can open up and be like, oh, yeah, check this out. And other things I'm going to be like, that kind of has personal information in it that I can't share. But I can answer any questions that you have, or how do you want to use Trello if anybody's on live. And
yeah, I see two people watching. I don't know who they
cool.
are. Okay, so I'm going to share your screen now. I wonder if you know what? I wonder if it's bigger if I'm going to just share without us for a bit while you go
Yeah,
through stuff, and
that's
I'll flip
cool.
back, because that way if it's bigger for people.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And this is when you first log into Trello, you're only going to have one board, and it's going to essentially be a tutorial board explaining how to use Trello, how to move cards around. So I suggest, if you're brand new to Trello, if you've never used Trello before and you sign up for it, dive into that board, go through the tutorial. This is going to be a little bit more advanced than Trello 101. This is going to be more of how I use Trello. I've been using it for years now. The reason I like it is it's free, it's simple, it doesn't have tons of bells and whistles. So I know a lot of people use Asana, and there's another one that just came out recently that somebody said, oh, you should check this out. And honestly, I'm sure they're great, but I don't know much about them because I just don't have the bandwidth to learn another tool. This is the one I use. This is the one I like. It integrates well with Google Calendar and everything that I do. Now, I will say, while it is free, Trello is free, I do pay for Trello Gold, which I think is like $5 a month. And I got hooked on it because they give it to you free if you refer people to use it. And because I use Trello with all my clients, I got Trello Gold for a year for free. And I got hooked on it. So I have upgraded. So the reason that you're going to see that I have more than 2 power-ups per board, I can use pretty backgrounds and custom backgrounds and stickers, is because I paid the $5 a month to have a few more bells and whistles. So, Joanne, what do you want to see first? Do you want to see household? Do you want to see business?
I would do household first.
All right. So
I always say, and the reason why I say that is because I start, anybody that I work with, entrepreneurs that work from home, I like to start with their house, because it's really, your environment is everything. And if you're working in your home, that can be such a distraction, as we know. So yes.
Yeah, you and I work very similarly. When I'm working with business owners, it's hard to keep a business organized and moving forward if your life is a hot mess and you can't get moving. So this is my basic. I only have 2 boards on household right now. I do have a couple others that I've hidden, but one is for keeping track of car registrations and everything that comes up in the household, things like that. But this is my favorite one because I love food and I love I love making sure that we're always well fed. So this is the one I use the most. Now you can see some of my dates are old, but don't worry about that. This is my menu board. And yeah, it did take me a while to set it up, but it's kind of fun to set it up. I go through our favorite recipes and I look them up, like, fish tacos, one of our favorite recipes. I find a picture from the internet and I just stick it in there for the header. I put in the ingredients, the directions. Sometimes if there's a blog that should get credit for the recipe, especially if I share these recipes, I will tag that blog in the comments so that I'm making sure that I'm giving credit where credit is due. But what's really cool about this is if we decide, in fact, we are having fish tacos Friday night. So let's skip forward to the year that it actually is. So if I put it on Friday night and I click save, because I use this power-up called Chronify, so a little bit about power-ups. If you go over to your menu and you go to power-ups, these are little, sometimes third-party functions, sometimes Trello-based functions that you can add to your boards to get more use out of them. So if you click Power Up, there's one that's called, the one that I'm using right now is called Chronify. You do pay for this. I can't really remember how much it was, but it honestly, for the time it saves me, it's well worth whatever it was. I can't remember if it was $50 or $70. It was something for the year. It's a yearly subscription. So I added this to my boards. And the reason I did that is because while Trello does have a nifty little calendar, when you sync their calendar to your Google Calendar, it doesn't do it in real time. So any changes that you make can sometimes take like 24 hours to show up. Chronify is instant. So if I go over to that Google Calendar, and I'm going to really quickly shut off some buttons. Hold on.
Don't look.
Right. Goodbye and goodbye. Okay. So if I go over to my calendar, you can see fish tacos, 6 p.m., right? Now,
oh my God, I love that.
Calendar that I set up, I've set it up to share with my husband.
Yep.
So if he's like, what's for supper? He can just look at the household calendar, click on it, and boom, there's the recipe.
That's fantastic. That's so awesome.
That's like my favorite thing of all time is when I'm really, especially in our busy season, my husband's an event DJ. So that's why I haven't been fully using this menu planner. But in the summer, when we're both busy and we're straight out, this is like in full use all the time. So
and I love that you say that, because I think what happens is a lot of people, they think, oh, I set this all up, I'm using it, and then I stopped using it. And they're like, oh, well. And it's like, no, you use things when you need them. And that's okay.
No,
I mean,
definitely a tool that, like in the winter, I can kind of be like, oh, what are we going to have tonight? I have the time to sit there and be like, oh, what am I going to eat for dinner? But in the summer, we have no time, so so I plan out the menu. And that's how I do my grocery list. As you can see over here too, I have a master grocery list, everything that we normally buy to stock up on. I have a Trader Joe's one because there's special things I like to buy when I go to Trader Joe's, and I because Trader Joe's is kind of a pain in the butt to go to. I don't go there often. So, and then food prep items too. On Sundays, this is what I like to do so that we have food in the house, for lunches and breakfasts and things like that.
Yeah. See, now this is something new I learned from you. I say every time I learn something new, this Chronify thing, that's totally new to me.
Yeah, Chronify is awesome. And the thing about Chronify too is it works both ways. So if I'm like, oh, we don't have supper at 6, we're going to have it at, early bird special at 4, I can pop back over here, click on fish tacos, and it
Nice.
not doing it quickly right now, but it will change it. There it goes,
Yeah.
4 o'clock.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
It works both ways, which when I show you work blocking,
I was
that
just
is
going to say, my mind just went work. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you use Chronify for work, and I have again, I'm not using it currently, but in my busy season, when I have work blocks activated, oh, you have my walk right there, so that's nice. But if I want to move these around for when I'm in my calendar scheduling, these are the things I know I have to do, but then I can move them around for when I can do it.
Right.
And when you have those work blocks scheduled, that it's a life changer. It's awesome. And these blue boxes right here, I'll show you that in a moment. So as far as like how do you create cards, how do you move them around, and how do you put the dates on them, just go through that tutorial that Trello gives you. It's very thorough. It answers all your questions. You can play around with the boards. You can't ruin anything here, really. Even if you delete a board, it doesn't go away completely unless you do a 2-step process. So play around in here. And you can see that's my husband, Mike Mahoney. He shares this board too. So he can pop in here anytime he wants and move things around. Yeah. So that's one of the boards for household. The other one is a honey-do list. Pretty basic. This is stuff I want. This is stuff I did, current projects that we're working on, stuff that needs to be done. And what's cool about this is when we are actually working on the project, like when I was working on the dog area project, for example, I actually priced out all the materials and wrote down the model numbers so that when I got to Home Depot or Lowe's, I could just tell them, hey, I need this. And they would load my cart for me.
Nice.
So it made it easy to stay within budget. And it made it a huge time saver when I went to the, when you're doing projects, you probably go to Home Depot or Lowe's like 50 million times. This also gets shared with my husband. And so we're on the same page. He can add things to it, things like that. So that's helpful. So yeah. And then the other board, like I say, I don't have it shared, but it's all the things that, I consider myself a house manager too. I manage the home. So anytime that we have car registrations due or insurance, or we need to renew, our policies or anything like that all gets put on a board as well. All right.
Awesome. Yeah, because I always say you should run your household like you run a business, and
absolutely, because people say, "Oh my God, all these boards, don't they take you a ton of time?" And it's like, well, when you're initially putting the boards together, yes, they do take a ton of time. But every morning I get up, I drink my, I don't drink coffee, I drink Arbonne Energy Fizz Sticks, and I'll have my drink, and I'll be looking at my boards, and whether it's a marketing day or a content writing day or a household day, I can just pop into the boards, manage them from there. They pop up on my calendar, as I was saying. Like for this, all of these popped up for ACE. So I'm also I'm the president of the Association for Consulting Expertise, and I'm also on the marketing committee. So I have 2 roles in that organization. So to keep them organized, I have it. And let me back up. I'm so all over the place. I'm so sorry for your people.
No.
These teams. The reason that my boards are segmented out is because I create teams. And when you create a team, you can, obviously name it. So a lot of times when I have a client, I'll name it Blazing Trails Coaching, BTC. And then Joanne, if you were my client, which I think you actually do have some boards in here.
Probably.
I would name it choose the team type, business. It really doesn't really matter. you don't really need a team description unless you want to explain to your team what this team is all about.
Mm-hmm.
So you've created the team, and then I can add a team member. So if I know your Trello email or Trello username, I would add you
Mm-hmm.
here. I can add people later. So you can either share your team or you can keep your teams to yourself. And the reason I create teams that have nobody in them is so that I can segment out my boards. You can have 10 boards per team without paying. So now I have a board, a team called Joanne Crawl. I would add you as a member. Or if I was coaching you and wanted to have some private boards about your progress or your contracts or anything that you didn't really need to share, I don't have to share it with you.
Right.
So then you come up on this sidebar right here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I've also created templates for my clients. So here's what you were talking about earlier, Joanne, the business model canvas, the customer journey map. And I also create a board for each of my clients that consists of their coaching program with me. So if you were to hire me as a coach, I would just simply copy this board over to your team. So, and that's pretty simple to do. You go over to show menu and you hit copy board, and I would choose you, create. Oops, I got a Joanne coaching program, create. And now if we go back over to my boards, you'll see that that board is in your team, which I could share with you.
Right.
And this simply lays out all the information about, how to get the most out of your coaching program, about Blazing Trails Coaching, about my company, about our sessions together. So here's where I could keep our session notes. So this could eliminate having a CRM if you didn't want to pay for something additional.
Right. I do use that for clients sometimes.
You use Kajabi. But if you wanted to put all your deliverables on Trello, you could easily do this. And what I like about it is it's pretty intuitive. I don't have to spend a lot of time training my clients on how to use Trello.
Right. I mean, well, you know what I love about yours too is I've always used Trello, but I've never put pictures in, and I don't know why. I just never even thought to do it. But the visual helps so much more. I mean, I think that I will sometimes go into Trello and be like, what am I doing? Like, where am I going? And these visuals that you have here, it's like the calendar right there. I know what I'm looking at scheduling. I don't even have to think. I don't have to read it. I just have those visuals. It's good.
Yeah. And I like pictures and colors. I'm a very visual person. That's why I like Trello. And then in here too, as I give my clients instructions on how to access certain tools. So there's actually a card in here about Trello, how to use Trello together. And I give them a really quick and a comprehensive Trello guide. They can click there and go through the Trello tutorial.
That's awesome.
And then
that's why people are in good hands with Priscilla.
What this does is, when you onboard a client, there's always something you forget to tell them.
Exactly.
And this makes it very cookie cutter. I remembered to tell you about my audio recording policy. I remembered to tell you about how to access your client website. And also they can refer back to this whenever they want. So, and I also put their action items in here so that they can say, well, what was I supposed to do after that last coaching session? Now, I do use Coach's Console. I could use that website to do the same thing, but because I'm also doing other project management with my clients, they're already in Trello anyway. So I've actually peeled off my CRM because it's one more place that my clients have to go. And I try to
Hmm.
keep it as simple as possible.
Right.
I don't want you to have to look in 10 different places for your work, where
Hmm.
I can just put it all right here.
Yeah. But I love how like the thought of using it, even if people just use it for onboarding their clients, if they're not,
Yeah,
a coach, if they're just, anybody, like a freelancer, just anybody they want to onboard, just to be able to have all of your instructions of whatever they need to do in one place. It just makes it easier for them. I don't remember where to log in, or I don't know,
absolutely.
do I need
Now,
to watch for emails, or when is anything happening? Yeah.
the cool thing about that too is you can use it for employee onboarding. So for those of
Hmm.
you who have employees, um, let me see if I haven't. Well, this is the salon, so it's a
Hmm.
little different, but you can
Yeah.
have all your employee policies, your operational policies, your client policies. You can have them all listed out for your employees. This can become sort of an employee handbook, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
digital. So if they have an iPhone or an iPad or Android, whatever, doesn't matter,
Yeah.
they can have their policies with them at all times. So that makes it really cool. There's also, I'm going to go into this guy, um, new hire onboarding. So again, you can onboard an employee by setting up um, before their first day, their day one, orientation. You can explain about company culture, when you have staff meetings, how to use
Hmm.
the incentive programs that you have. You can list out your job descriptions, who's on the team, so there's so
Hmm.
many things that you can do um, with this, the training checklist. And you can share this with your entire staff.
Right.
And if you pay for the business level, you can apply restrictions so that you can give some people read-only access. You can give some
Right.
people, and you can kick them out. So that's the
Yeah.
paid level of Trello. Um,
Hmm.
but setting all these things up really can make your business work like clockwork as well,
Hmm.
and you're not spending tons of money on a new CRM or a new employee hand, databases or anything like that.
Right.
You manage
It's
it.
funny, as you're talking about this, going back to home stuff, my home program, I know you've talked about like setting up the days, because my home program, you go through it, but then I use it as maintenance. So I really need to take what's in that program and set up a template for people so that I can share that as an additional resource. So
Uh,
what
yeah,
happens is when people are going through it, a lot of times they'll modify the program. So then they would have the days and they could say, well, no, I'm going to do it this way
they
and I'm
can
going to
move
do
it
this on this
around.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. So having a step-by-step program on a Trello board is awesome because
Hmm.
you're right. I never do like your step-by-step program that you offer. I never do that in order. It just isn't.
Right.
I love having the steps.
Right.
So
Yeah, and that's the
we
way it's built, so it makes sense to have it in some sort
yeah
of format where people can easily, because the way it is now, I have a checklist. I have a little, PDF checklist for
yeah
people, but it would be nice to have a board and have it be more visual, having so day one is always the nightstand and something in the bathroom, so it's like you could have those two pictures so people could say, "Oh, that's what I need to do today."
yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna
Trello is
do that.
awesome for project management. It's
Yeah.
Angela, my accountability partner, and I both are in Toastmasters, and we both say if we didn't have our Trello boards while we were going through our education program for Toastmasters, we probably wouldn't have gotten the highest award in Toastmasters, which
Right.
is DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster. So I'll show you an example of that because it was overwhelming. This is all the work I had to do to get to my
Crazy.
DTM. Look at all these projects. I was like, and not having something to navigate with was just overwhelming. So I put out, most of the time when I build a board, I put the very first column, I put as a legend. And even though you can click on these colored tabs, you can click on them, I swear.
Yeah.
Come on. It's not doing it for me right now, but you can click on these, and if you click on, there we go.
Yeah.
You can read them. I don't know. There's something about having a legend for me. I just, it's me.
Yeah.
Something I like to do.
That's good. Mm-hmm.
And then I wrote down all the offices that I held, contests I won, just because I like see all my trophies in the background.
Yeah.
I like keeping track of what did I do.
Mm-hmm.
And then these are the projects I had to complete to get to Distinguished Toastmaster. And what I did is when I got an evaluation, I took a picture of the evaluation. Mm-hmm. That way I didn't have to keep all this paperwork.
Right.
I just took a picture of it, stuck it on my Trello board, and when I was ready to hand in my projects, it was all right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I could put the due dates. The due dates went onto my calendar because I created a Toastmaster calendar. Mm-hmm. And boom, got it done. So, yeah, it's perfect for project management. So if this is like how you want to clean your house in 30 days, just list it all out and go into each one and say, okay, what do I have to do to get this done today?
Right. Right. Awesome.
Yeah. So you can use it for hobbies. You can use it for managing your household. You can manage, again, I'm in a volunteer association. So I was explaining about that. I've got a board for our boards and operations. It has our board book, our policies, our mission, vision. It has all my board directors, their contact information, everything that I need to know about the board. And also because I'm on the marketing committee, this is the marketing board. So these are our events coming up. Here's our logos. And because I use the Power Up for Google Drive, I'm able to pop in and grab our logos from Google Drive. So it's all right here.
Right.
And our brand standards, the colors that we're supposed to use in branding. Those are very important. Our fonts, what we're supposed to be using. Our deadlines. And so again, the templates over here, I've created for every event so that I don't have to rework the wheel every time. I just copy it in. So if I ever have an event that's coming up, let's say we had one in June coming up, all I'd have to do is click the template and create the June program.
Yeah.
And inside this, which I'm not going to do because it'll mess me up, but inside this, look, I'm doing a webinar about navigating your customer journey. This is good advertising. I love this, Joanne.
Yeah, perfect. I was going to say, I'll mention that at the end, and you can share anything.
I'm doing this webinar, and pre-webinar prep, you know what that's like, Joanne. You got things you have to do before the webinar, and then things that we need to do to advertise. Here's our checklist. These are the things that have to be done. I put the lead time so that I know when to put the due date, which it's overdue. I should have done it the other day.
Oops, you were sick. You had a pass.
No, actually, you know what? I did do this stuff. This is all done. I'm lying.
That's January. Yeah.
I did that. It's all done. I just forgot to check them off. So, but
I love you showing that, because a lot of people would, I go back to that perfectionism and like, oh, you know what? It's okay. You realize you've already done it, so you just checked it off. It's not like you did anything wrong. Yeah.
And I can't remember the exact date I did it. Not a big deal. It's done. It's out there. So. But in March, we've got things coming up. We've got the ACE. We're having Rich Brooks. That might be a familiar name to you all. We're having him at our morning breakfast. He's going to be talking about how to become a thought leader. And here's the promotional pictures that we have to create to promote it.
Yeah.
Here's the joint calendars that we posted on. We share it with, so same process every time. So we make sure that it's, and the thing is, I can turn this board over to anybody else to do
Right.
this.
Yes.
It's all spelled out.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Which is great for like an entrepreneur who is doing all of their systems and they're doing all of their own work, and then they're ready to finally hire someone, and it's like, well, wait a minute, now I got to tell them what I do. No, here you go, this is what I do, go for it.
So this is exactly what I help entrepreneurs do, because if you're like any other entrepreneur, you haven't been tracking what you do. My husband's a perfect example of this. He's been in business for 25 years. Everything he does up until recently has been in his head. And now he's ready. He's like, I need help. And it's like, well, nobody can help you because all your processes are in your head. So I help entrepreneurs suck all that 25 years of stuff out of their heads, put it into a logical process for them, whether it's on Trello or whatever other process they choose, so that you can be replicated, so that you can be cloned and other people can do work for you.
Exactly.
And I do suggest, though, to give them the freedom and the flexibility to be able to do it their way, because typically their way is way better than yours. They're always going to find an easier way to do it than you've been doing it.
Yeah. I mean, 100% agree with that. And it has to work for them. It's just a matter of what works best.
Right.
For the person. Awesome.
But the templates are really, that was like the game changer for me this year, was figuring out to put together templates so that I can copy and replicate for my clients and help them go through step-by-step a process. Like, Joanne, you've gone through my business model Canvas course.
Mm-hmm.
So this looks familiar to you, right?
Yep.
So, when you go through the business model Canvas, this is creating your one-page business plan. And this board goes to my clients. They get to change and manipulate this forever.
I'm raising my hand. You got to send me those boards for that and the customer journey. I'm going to take everything you gave me and I'm going to put it in there. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Visually, I like this. I like how this is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you can, and these little headers don't take much to create. If you know Canva or PicMonkey, I use PicMonkey.
Yeah.
You create these little headers, and it just makes it easier for your, of course they can read that up at the top, but now my board is branded.
Yes. Yeah.
This back picture I created, it's branded. If you've ever been in my office, this is actually a picture of the business model canvas that you work from with me.
Right. Yeah.
So, and if anybody's not familiar with business model canvas, this is the tool that I teach. That's a one-page business plan. It puts together your customer segments, customer relationships, value propositions, your key partners, who's going to help you get it done, who are you doing it for, why are you doing it. And once we've laid all these things out, this will be on your Trello board that you can keep referring back to, tweaking, changing, modifying as you find out what's working and what's not. So
yeah. That's
so
huge.
this has been a game changer for sure. Putting together these tools and resources for your clients can really just propel your brand forward. And it just makes it easier for your clients to consume information that you're trying to give to them.
Yeah, definitely. Because I went through those two processes with you, and I think we did it in like a spreadsheet, right? And so it's great, it's beautiful, but it's big. And so like I have it printed out and I would refer to it, but it would be great to have it all in a Trello board, because like if I'm on just my phone, I can grab my phone and just scroll through and go, okay, wait, it's just a good reminder. Everything we did, I'm doing, and I'm following that, but every once in a while I'll be like, wait a minute, like what am I missing?
Model canvas laid out. I have my customer journey map laid out. And so customer journey, same thing, laid it out so that, you can follow through. Remember this process.
Yeah. Yep.
This is bringing your clients, all clients are on a journey. And 70% of the buyer's decision-making is made before they even meet you. So it's important
Yeah.
that we work with unaware people, because
Mhm.
97% of marketers work in this column here. Oh,
Right.
do you need a business coach? And people are like, oh, do you want to show up on first page of Google search? And it's like, yeah, that's not hard. That's not hard to do at all. What I need to do is show up where people are not actively searching for a business coach, but I pop up anyway. That's
Right.
where I need to be.
Yes. Yes.
So we walk through that process together. So yeah, I'll share this with you, Joanne. Absolutely. And you just
Yeah,
plug
definitely.
in and what I like is some of my clients plug in their client avatars with actual pictures, and that makes it fun. They pick a picture that best represents their client avatar, and they
Oh, I like
that so that you're
Yeah.
actually looking at the person. So when you're writing blog entries or you're writing content, you're actually looking at a picture of what your ideal client would look like, and you're like, all right, Joe, I'm going to write to you today.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah.
Is mine the mom that's like going like this, ripping her hair out while she's
Right.
trying to run a business from home?
And I know
I gotta find that picture.
I can't remember the name that you chose, but yeah.
Sarah. Yeah.
Sarah, that's
Sarah.
right. With an H.
Sarah with an H. Yes. I don't know why. It just yeah. It's the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah. So and this of course can walk. This is a great branding thing too, because what often happens is I'll do a 2-hour business strategy session with a client, give them this deliverable, and they'll be using it, and they're like, okay, now what? And so this will actually walk them through. I fill this out individually for each client.
Yeah, right.
But I'll give them like, here's what I recommend you do next.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gives them their homework on what they need to do next, which is often a proposal for a coaching program, or maybe sometimes it's not. Sometimes they have a lot more work to do.
Right.
But it gives them even that next resource of what to do, and plus everything that you go through. Here's the thing we talked about. It's right here. You didn't have to take notes. You didn't have to remember. It's all right here.
Right. Yeah.
You can print this stuff out if you want to. You can do whatever you want with it, but it's yours.
That's awesome.
Once I copy it from my templates to their team, they have access to it.
Yep. Yep.
So
awesome. Cool.
Yeah. Did anybody have questions? I feel like I've just been blasting through this.
I just put us back on screen because I realize you probably can't see what's on the screen, right? No, I just
I'm looking up all the time.
Yeah. Lori Klassen came in and said she needs to give Trello another shot because you make it sound so easy, which you do, and I love that. And I told her that you need to create a course because you need to create a course on Trello.
I gotta get with Joanne.
So valuable.
We need to do more courses, but a lot of it has just been me poking around and playing. I've created so many boards that I've ended up deleting because I'm like, this is gonna run my life, and then I found there's a thing called Butler. So if you press one button, it'll pull out all sorts of information on your board and create things. And so I spent like hours creating this complicated board that I thought, oh, this is gonna tell me exactly what I need to do every day, and I ended up trashing it. It just ended up not being what I needed at the time. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the trial and error, and it's. But yourself now too. You probably won't do that again. You'll stop and go, okay, no, I'm not going to create anything elaborate. Stick with what I know. And
I always ask myself is, do I really need another board for this? Because you can see I have a lot of boards.
Right.
So I always have to ask myself, do I need another board for this? I did try bullet journaling on Trello.
Yeah.
I hated it. Didn't like it. The only thing I do like is if you're familiar with bullet journals, you can keep what are they called? Collections of things. So a lot of
Are you
people will,
sharing that right now? Because I got to put that back
oh,
up if you're
yeah, sorry.
sharing.
A lot
Yeah.
of
Okay.
people will bullet journal the books that they read. This is
Mm-hmm.
how I do it. You know,
Yeah.
oh, I got to listen to this. I'm going to, put it in my bullet journal.
That book, I have that book, The Flawless Consulting. Is that the one I
Yeah.
have? Same guy. Yeah, it's from years ago for my husband. Somewhere. It's a
We're
different
trying to
cover.
get
It's that
him
old.
to speak or do a webinar for ACE. We haven't nailed him down yet. Of course, we're going to have to pay him quite a bit of money.
Of
But,
course.
and this
Yeah.
book is by one of my good friends and colleagues. He wrote this book, so it's an awesome book called Mindset and Mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
He went through the same coaching program that I did, IPAC.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really good one. And of course, bullet journaling. Make your
Yeah.
bed. That's a quick one.
Are you
So
still bullet journaling on paper?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
And so
Good.
everyone wonders, like, what? How do you? What the heck? You know, you have Trello boards, you have bullet journal, and other things. So I do have kind of a rules guide of how I use my tools. So my bullet journal is my daily tasks. Everything that I have to get done today goes in my bullet journal. I also do time tracking in my bullet journal, so how much time I spend on actual time that I spend on tasks. And I do the rapid note taking in my bullet journal. For Trello, it's everything that is a project, or it takes multiple steps. It takes forward planning and things like that. And I also use Google Keep for checklists, because while Trello does have checklists, their way of clearing checklists or having recurring tasks is clunky.
Yeah.
So I use Google Keep because there's a one button clear the check marks off function. So if I want to keep track of and I think I can share this without getting weird. Let me see if I can share this without. Dear diary. Oh, you're seeing too much of my inside.
Oh, I'll take the screen off. You let me know when you're ready.
Good. So Google Keep, I keep so like directions to my office. Oh my God, I have to give people directions to my office like all the time. My Zoom link number, I have to keep all the
GPS isn't. Oh, it's in once you're in there though too. Yeah.
Yeah. So people have to get into my office once they get to the building.
Yeah.
So and they walk around
Yeah.
aimlessly, even though there's a directory.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about Google Keep is there are labels. So if you wanted to, a lot of people do Miracle Morning. And if you wanted to set up a Miracle Morning using labels, this is probably how you could do it. You create labels. I put the numbers so that for me, I'm a twit. I need everything to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Google does it alphabetically, so they would be like, Monday, however, So
right. Yep.
So if you use labels, it will bring up everything that you need to do on a Monday. And so Monday's my laundry day. Monday, here's my morning routine that I do Mondays. Here's my evening routine that I do Mondays. Do I do it perfectly every day? No, because if I did, I would be a machine. This is more, ideal living. And I also keep my do all the things list on every day, because if I have a chance to do one of these things, I got to do it.
Right. Yeah.
And then I have different business focuses for each day. And then I also keep camping lists on here because it's a list.
Yeah.
Keep. So
yeah, I know. I had all those lists in documents years ago, and then I'm like, all right, they need to go digitally because what a pain.
Yeah, well, I was trying to do all this in bullet journal, and you end up rewriting. And it's if you have a morning AM routine and you want to do the same thing every morning, there's no sense in rewriting that like 50 million times. So I know this is supposed to be about Trello, but
No, it's okay. No, I like how you integrate everything, because it's hard. And you were talking about earlier Asana, and so I was always using Trello for personal, except for any consultations that I had. I would set up a board for someone, but I was using Trello for personal and Asana for business. And so now I'm experimenting with ClickUp, which is the other one, because ClickUp is kind of like a marriage of the two. I can see it in board form really nicely, and there's different things that I can do, but I'm just playing around with that right now. So
yeah, somebody showed me that the other day, and I'm like, oh, you know, I like, for one, I'd have to, you see all the work I've done to build.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to
do that somewhere else, you know.
Yeah, no, and it, you know, it's like what you're used to and what you're comfortable with, and that's one thing I do like about Trello. It's definitely more simplified, but yet you can still project manage and share and do everything in there. I mean, unless you're like, you know, running these huge projects with like 25 people, then it can get a little crazy, but you know, it's still doable, but it's really what works best for everybody that's using it.
No, most of the stuff I do, the biggest team I have is my ACE team, but they don't all use the Trello board. So I have the Trello board, and that's the tricky thing, is when you're working with teams, you know, and you're like, oh, we're going to use this technology because this technology rocks. Well, you have to remember that some people either are very uncomfortable with the technology, or they don't they just don't want to learn something new. Like if somebody told, oh, we're going to use ClickIt now, I'd be like, no, I want to use Trello because that's what I like.
Right.
So I say, go ahead and build your boards. Go ahead and keep yourself organized. Like my marketing team has an Excel spreadsheet that they work from in Google Documents. I take that Google spreadsheet and I put it into Trello for myself. Now, if anybody else wants to use my Trello board on the marketing team, that's great. But my place of project management and being organized is in Trello. So I create it for myself and I share it with anybody who wants to be shared with. But and if they want to learn how to use Trello because they like what they see, that's great. That's bonus. But I can't really force your productivity tools on the rest of your team, unless you've all agreed to in a meeting, like what productivity tools are we going to use? How are
and everybody commits.
When do we use email? When do we use texting? When do we use Trello? When do we use Google Docs? You know, and you list out this like rules of engagement for your team.
Right.
Then you got something to work with.
Yeah.
But
Lori just said her Google Home just went off because you were talking about, I'm assuming, describing what a document is. That's what it is. Because you were talking about Google Docs. That's funny.
I always, of course, it doesn't work technically, but one of my jokes when I'm starting a business presentation is I'll say, okay, everybody, make sure your phones are off. I'm going to test it right now. Hey, Siri.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, it's so funny. My Siri's been going off a lot lately. I don't even think I have it set up. It's very, we're heading into retrograde, so luckily this all went nice and smooth.
I set that girl off. She was too much. I don't like her. I actually had to change my Siri to a dude because.
Oh, my daughter has the British man on hers. It's so funny.
Yeah.
So, Lori says she's scared. It's going to take her 2 weeks and then she won't do it. Meaning like set everything up. Oh, I see. No, her first question was, what's a reasonable.
Oh, Joanne, you froze on me.
Am I back?
Was that my internet or yours?
I don't know. I don't know.
You glitched on me.
All right. No, so so I mean, I think that the key is the approach is, for me, setting things up. I can't just do it all at once. It has to be a process. So, but I don't know how you agree on that.
So anytime anytime you decided to use any new productivity tool, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a bullet journal. I don't care if it's Trello, whatever. It does take 2 weeks. I would actually schedule yourself 2 weeks of creation time, of trial and error, Does this work? Does this not work? Tweaking. And then in 2 weeks, decide, okay, am I ready to take this and utilize it for real? So anytime I'm doing, when I was doing bullet journaling, I still held on to my other tools that I was using as a safety net. I tried to do a digital bullet journal. And like I said, I tried it and I didn't like it, but I kept my paper one going while I was doing this 2-week experiment. Actually, you allow yourself a 2-week experiment. You wouldn't marry somebody on the first date. Why would you take on a new productivity tool on the first test drive? You got to make sure whatever tool you use, it has to be something that you're willing to use every day.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tried bullet journaling. I experimented with it for a good 6 months. It turns out that what I liked the most was just having the index and my brain dumps and my list. So for me, it was easier to just do all that virtually and not use the bullet journal anymore. But I wanted to do the experiment because I like to help people with find different resources. And with ClickUp right now, like I said, I'm just experimenting with it, and I'm just doing like my current launch in there and some of my personal stuff, because I do like the way the lists are and everything. And I have my inventory for Maine. I have all the food and everything that we have up there in ClickUp instead of, because I was doing it in different places. And I just keep testing it, but I don't go crazy. I don't set everything up so that it's like, intricate. And I do a basic version of what I might potentially be doing, and I see how it will work. And then it's like, okay, this is going to work. Now I can do all the fancy stuff.
And there's two different types of people. There's probably more than that, but like Joanne is more minimalistic than I am. I like all the colors and the washi and the stickers, and I do the same thing on my Trello boards. I love the pictures. I love the visuals. I spend some time making it look pretty. And you don't have to do that. One basic that I have a business partner, she created this board. It's very basic.
That's how my boards look. Yep.
Yeah. Very basic, and it's easy to use. It was about, we use this as a tool for streamlined communication for teams.
Mm-hmm.
You can make every single one of your boards look like this. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to have a million power-ups or craziness about it.
I recommend starting out simple. Until it's going to work for you. Then all right, now
and then
functioning in a basic level, and then go for it.
Yep, absolutely. Another question I get asked often is, how do you? I do a lot of requests for proposals for people who are looking for presenters or trying to get speaking engagements. So it's good just to remember the phone book. We used to have a phone book of Rolodex of people. You can do that right on Trello. You can, these are all the consulting spaces that I want to be in front of and work in. And so I've tagged when they have their dates, when they have their requests for presenters. I don't have them all. This is more of a research board. And sometimes I'll just stare at it and be like, oh, I haven't seen what they're doing lately. I'm going to go check them out.
Yeah.
So you can just simply use it as a reference too. It doesn't have to be a working board. It can be a place where you park things.
Exactly. Yes.
Park ideas. I do have one board that's just like my adventure list. That's the place where I park ideas. It's I can't show it to you because it's a little personal, but it's a place where I park. It's almost like can I show this to you? Maybe I can.
I can hide it until you.
I'll hide that part. Okay. Yeah. The rest of it's fine. This is like a vision board. It's
right.
It's just simply what I want, and I pick pictures that make me happy to look at. And the cool thing beyond a vision boards drive me a little insane when they're not used properly. Vision boards are great, but you need to have the steps on how you're going to get it.
Yeah.
So in Trello, you can actually do that. You can click on it and list out the steps of how you're going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. This has been so great and helpful, I'm sure.
I've been all over the place, and I'm.
No, you haven't been. I know that feeling, when you go,
Oh,
okay, and the thing, and you're like, what did I say? No.
One more cool thing I'll show you, because I know you have a lot of social media people on your page, and this is my long since abandoned poor Instagram board, but when I'm doing it, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So you can create images in Instagram, and then you can write what you want to say about it, profound, amazing thoughts here, right? And then you can save I always put the hashtags in the comments, and I'll show you why in a moment. Hashtag awesome, hashtag cool, whatever.
Yeah.
It's Instagram, right? So if you do that, and then you go to your phone and you open up the photo on in Trello and copy it, or you can share it directly from your Trello board to Instagram.
Yeah.
So you can schedule all your Instagram posts right out in Trello, and you can keep your most common hashtags.
Yes.
The ones that you've researched, the ones that are branded,
Yep.
So
that's awesome.
Again, a million things you can do with this tool.
And I will say, Priscilla does work. She's not just sitting here creating stuff, because there are a lot of people that would do all of this stuff and not get anything done.
Are abandoned is because,
you've been working.
Because I've been working. So
yes,
not all my boards. My client boards are very busy, but I hid them all. So
yeah. But no, it's important. I'll go back to that. It's so important that, like when Lori said, just setting it up and then not doing it, just the process of setting it up is a big step as well, because it's like you've put everything out there and it's there. It's not going anywhere, whether you're using it or not. It's there. And if something else comes along that you might feel that you can use, you can take it all and move it over. So your work is never really, as long as you're not going crazy and you're just putting the basics and kind of laying things out, just that process alone is helpful, I think.
No, I put together last year, I did a 2019 revenue roadmap. I can't show you this one, obviously, it's my revenue, but
yeah.
I never looked at the board again after I set it up. Never looked at it again. And then when I was doing my 2019 taxes, I was like, I didn't think I made this much money. I thought I made less money than I did the year before. So I went back and I looked at my roadmap, and I'm like, I did almost all of these things, even though I never looked at it again.
Right.
So there's a power of having it somewhere too.
Exactly.
And so I created the 2020 roadmap. I will say I'm looking at this one more than I did the one last year.
Yeah.
But that essentially, I write out my monthly goal, how I'm going to get there, how many clients do I need, how many workshops do I need to present, how many people do I need to be in front of, and and work the board. So
awesome. Well, we're just at about an hour, so I'll let you know. Just feel free to share in the comments. Share your Trello link, because I don't share an affiliate for that, and you'll benefit from that, right? You still benefit if you share it.
Actually, I used up. They give you 12 free months, so.
Oh, so you get nothing if you share your link. All right, maybe I'll share my link if I have one.
Share yours, Joanne, so you can get your Trello Gold.
Exactly, and then your ACE stuff. Anything you want to share, feel free. Share away.
And I'll give you that template there, Joanne.
Oh, definitely. I'll be excited for that. That'll make me maybe get back. I mean, I'm in Trello, for certain things, but I think maybe being able to just have that, because I've been referring to that a lot lately, because I've been doing a lot of marketing and writing and stuff, and it just helps to look back and remind myself, okay,
the customer journey is essentially your marketing plan. So
exactly,
it does help to look at
it. It does, and I have been.
So yeah, awesome. If anybody ever has any questions too, just reach out. Happy to help.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, and
thanks, Joanne, for having me on. This was fun. I could talk Trello all day. So
I know.
you picked my favorite topic.
It is a good one. It is a good one. So yeah, I know. I'll have to brainstorm because I'm sure there's more you can share on at some point. Just even just your time blocking on your Google
Well,
Calendar.
yeah,
These are all things I don't do.
Time blocking, or we talk about marketing, or we talk about, you can, like I said, you can use it for just about anything. You can see how I use it on the side. My business and marketing and content, volunteer organizations, my clients, my household, my husband's business. So tons of ways that you can use it.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. I am going to end. So thank you everybody for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to drop them. We'll both come back and answer any questions. All right.
Thanks,
have a good day.
Guys. Have a great day. Bye.